My name is Michael Ferguson, and this is a visual presentation on the rise and fall of Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers began as a grocery and merchandise store by an immigrant of Henry Lehman. He was an immigrant from Germany, and he came to the country to sell merchandise to local cotton farmers in Alabama. He incorporated his other two brothers to come with him, and in time, the business grew. Lehman Brothers eventually grew to be one of the biggest sellers and buyers of cotton, and they coined the name of Cotton Kings in the 1850s. Uh, the company continued to grow and to secure more of their stronghold on the economy in the South. They bought a firm in bought an office in New York City, right on Wall Street in 1858. Through time, the company continued to grow. They were able to survive through World War I, World War II, and the Great Depression. And the reason why they were willing to survive was the company traded in what they would call working capital. The company would buy and sell and raise capital for smaller companies. Let's say a company like McDonald's wanted to go public. What Lehman Brothers would do was they would raise and invest capital and sell bonds for McDonald's to go public. Um, the company, it did well in as around 1994, when their CEO Richard Ford, he wanted to make Lehman Brothers as big and as strong as the major players like Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch, and other big financial businesses. So he set out with his aggressive style of business and fortitude to grow that then modest investment firm into the fourth largest financial banking instrument in the United States. Richard Foles had a reputation around Wall Street as the Wall Street Gorilla. So he was very aggressive in his approach to building that company. Uh, Around September 15th, 2008, the unthinkable happened. Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy. The effect of the company filing for bankruptcy caused Lehman Brothers itself to lose thousands of jobs and lose billions of dollars. Um, Lehman Brothers, the reason for their collapse is uh, under the tutelage of Mr. Richard the company aggressively leveraged most of its business with hot money. In Wall Street, hot money is borrowed money. So the company was heavily leveraged with money they borrowed from creditors. So they began to under the boom of the U.S. Housing boom, perpetuated by Alan Greenspan, chairman of Federal Reserve, and our presidents Bill Clinton and George Bush, that the cost of American homes kept rising and rising, and Alan Greenspan and most economists felt that this boom would never end. So, you know, Richard Ford and other CEOs heavily invested in CDOs and underwriting a lot of these housing loans for banks and for these banks. Oh, okay. And the reason why the market failed is because a lot of credit agencies were influencing the top. A lot of the investment firms are influencing the top three credit agencies to give these CDOs or security high ratings. So all they would do was constantly trade toxic waste beyond each other because according to the market, the value of property and homes kept going up and up and up. So they began to keep going up, and these guys were basically playing hot potato, passing these bad mortgages around. And whoever was left with the bad toxic, they obviously lost the game. Well, these securities, all during the 2000s, these securities made a lot of money for not only Lehman Brothers but Goldman and Sachs, Merrill Lynch, and Morgan Stanley. All these guys were heavily invested in hot money or borrowed money to create their $100 million bonuses and $1 billion profits for their companies because it looked good on the profit sheets. Collapse who? What happened? Why? CEOs, why brother pay money? Okay, sorry. Um, and the reason why, a lot of people speculate the reason why Paul Hank Paulson allowed Lehman Brothers to fail was the rumor around Wall Street is he never liked Dick Fold. Richard Fold. Richard Fold had a reputation as being aggressive, and he was caught on camera explicitly talking about he wants to eat the heart out of Lehman Brothers and all the top other executive firms. He wanted to make Lehman Brothers number one. So when they heard he was in trouble, him making so many rivals and rubbing Hank Paulson the wrong way, he allowed them to fail because common sense, he backed the other guys, so why wouldn't he back Lehman Brothers? But I believe Hank Paulson and then Secretary and then Geithner, I forgot his last name, Geithner, they never anticipated the devastating effects and how intertwined the markets were domestically and globally or internationally, that when Lehman fell, it opened a big gap and it brought in skepticism to our capitalism market, and everything plummeted without the quick acting of the U.S. government with the bailout. It would have sent not only American economy into recession, but a global recession too. I mean, as Americans, we're grateful for the quick reaction, but on the other hand, what really caused Lehman Brothers, Countrywide, Fannie Mae, and Countrywide to exploit or to continue down a negative course of action was, greed. It was simple greed. These companies were not looking out for the best interest as people as a whole. They didn't show any ethic, duty, or obligation to help the fellow man. It wasn't the greater good of all. They didn't show any virtues of ethics, like just traits and characteristics that people with ethics would choose. They were looking out for numero uno or their small group of people. As a world and as a country, we are experiencing exponential growth of wealth disparity. You no longer are able to get a honest day's pay for honest day's work, regardless of the job. I believe everyone should be able to afford a decent life, and that's not true around the world, and it's beginning not to be true here in America. Regardless of education or skill, a lot of jobs are being devalued because the top wants more of the lion's share they're receiving already. Our government is no longer we the people, it's we the corporation or we the rich We are living in what they will call a plutocracy, a government for and by and serves the rich. Um, there are a lot of monopolies going around here. I guess you call them oligopolies. You know that certain groups. There's a lot of barriers to enter certain businesses. Is a big very barrier. The working class are getting dispersed and devalued more and more every day, and it seems like with our school system, our education, and the propaganda, the dogma that spews on television and internet and other media outlets, that we're not getting any better. I just don't see why two working class men, one side to be for Republicans, the other side to be for Democrats, when they both make the same amount of money, they both live in the same neighborhood. I just don't see why they have the divisions, but I believe the divisions are there on purpose. I believe skin color, race, creed, political affiliation, and other things are used to separate us, because if we would sit down and focus on what the other 1% are doing, then maybe we can make a change. But in order to do that, we have to educate the other 99%. And most of the 99%, they don't want to be educated. They rather focus on their favorite basketball team or other sports team or their favorite sitcom or television show than to check out C-SPAN or read about business and try to make a change and help each other out. Thank you for my presentation. I probably went on too long, but I believe the reason why these companies are able to do what they want to do is because not enough people are educated and not enough people help each other.